Hey everybody, DJ Vinyl Vertigo, welcome. It's Friday night after a long first week back to work. Glad that's over with. um, just gonna jump right into it. It's not gonna be a long one. Just want to pay a little homage to a jazz artist that I'm not gonna say doesn't get a lot of love in VC. I'm sure he does or did. I just didn't hear a lot of it. And when I did hear about him, people kind of said, "Oh, kind of smoothies," but I didn't think so at all. Um, this artist, while haven't been listening to him a lot recently, um, I have him in my collection mainly because he makes me think of my dad, because my dad really liked his music, and I did too. Um, um, and it's Chuck Mangione, you know. Chuck Mangione died, I believe, yesterday at the age of 84. Died in his sleep, or day before yesterday, maybe. Um, it was announced yesterday. Um, he was born in 1943, I believe. He was 84 years old. Um, Born in Rochester, New York, and he died in Rochester, New York. He's a New Yorker all the way. Flugelhorn, trumpet, and piano. He's the brother of Gap Mangione, who's a jazz piano player, and worked with lots and lots and lots of people, and usually worked a lot with orchestras in a lot of his recordings, and has a lot of live recordings actually, and a lot of compositions, and I think what he's most famous for, I believe it's the song "Feels So Good." It's kind of one of those songs that when you hear it, you know it, even if you don't know who he is. You just know that tune. Google it. Just listen to it, and you'll know. Oh my God, I know that song. I know that piece. Whatever. Um, the first time I ever heard Chuck Mangione was this record. Sat down with my dad, and my dad used to play this constantly. But when he got this from the store, he cracked it open, put it on, had a nice little stiff drink, and was just smiling. And it was this album, Land of Make Believe, from 1973 on Mercury. And this features a vocalist by the name of Esther Satterfield. She does the title track on this. And this is with the Chuck Mangione Quartet and the Hamilton Philharmonic Orchestra. Jerry Nywood on soprano sax, flute and alto flute, Al Johnson on bass, Joe LaBarbera on drums, and of course Chuck Mangione on flugelhorn. Special guest Esther Satterfield on vocals, Kathy Lair on cello, and the Horseheads Chamber Singers. And it's a beautiful record. It's live recording, mastered by Bob Ludwig. Phil Ramone was the recording engineer on this as well. Really good record, and this was done in Massey at the Massey Hall, I believe. That's where it was recorded and performed, and yeah, it's a great record. It's pretty easy to find. I don't think it's a very difficult record to find. It's not a very expensive record. It's Esther Satterfield with Chuck Mangione. Yeah. This has a very special feeling for me, meaning for me, because it's one of those records that always makes me think of my dad. It brings him right into the room for me. every time I hear this record. So, Land of Make Believe. Yeah, I love this. This is a record that I don't know that well, but again, it's another live record. This is earlier, and this is also on Mercury. And this is called Friends in Love, a Chuck Mangione concert. And it has excerpts from this concert. This is from 1970. Recorded live at the Eastman Theater in Rochester, New York. May 9th, 1970. And Chuck Mangione with the Rochester Philharmonic Orchestra with Chuck as the guest conductor for this. And his brother's on this as well. On this record, Don Potter is on guitar and voice. Bat McGrath on guitar and voice. Gat Mangione, his brother, on electric piano. Stanley Watson on guitar. Marvin Stamm, trumpet. And Jerry Nywood, again, on soprano and alto sax and flute. And a standing room only crowd of over 3,500. So I think I might check this out tonight because I don't remember what this sounds like at all. I'm sure it's good. But I'm glad I have this. Again, Chuck Mangione records, not very expensive. I think he sold a lot of records, and so because of that, you can find them out a lot. And I think people respected his stuff, so I don't think people really tore up his records. They're really usually in pretty good condition, usually. This is a later record here. I think you probably would be familiar with this cover. This one is called Main Squeeze. And self-produced. And this has Bob Mann on acoustic and electric guitar, John Tropea on acoustic and electric guitar, John Grolnick on Rhodes and acoustic piano, Tony Levin on bass, and Rubens Bassini percussion, as well as Ralph McDonald. I love Ralph McDonald on percussion, Richard T on organ, and Steve Gadd doing drums and percussion. And Gene Orloff is the concert master on this one. So that's major. That's pretty major. Again, what year is this? I can't stand when they don't have years. On records, 1976. So you probably know, seen this one around. It's really nice packaging on this. Real smooth, shiny, very heavy cardstock for this cover. It's nicely done. A record that also means a lot to me, for me, and this one a record that I played a lot, and this is Bellavia, which is his mother's, I believe, her maiden name. It's a Mother's Day gift to his mom. And I think it's kind of like a tribute to his mother and his father's marriage. But this is the Chuck Mangione Quartet and Orchestra. Beautiful cover. Gorgeous record. I used to play this a lot. I really love this a lot. I believe Kai Winding is on this as well, which is pretty cool. It says here about his parents. They created a naturally loose and warm, everybody feel good environment. Our door was always open, and my friends, most of whom were musicians, knew that they were always welcome. So sessions happened almost daily in our living room. My father would be in his grocery store, attached to the house, beaming as he told each customer who was making the music. I remember the day the bread man asked my father, "How many loaves of bread do you want today? And how many Sons records do you want to buy?" He would say back. In the kitchen, my mother would be filling the house with the aroma of something delicious for everyone when we stopped playing. Bella Via is a song I found in me that feels like my mother. It's my Mother's Day gift to her. In fact, all the music on this album is seasoned with a spirit much like the festive feelings that have touched everyone has known my parents. I find it impossible, although they wouldn't, to have you travel to their home for mom's spaghetti sauce and dad's homemade Italian sausage. I offer instead this music as a way of introducing them to you. Perhaps as you listen, your own carousel or gondola will take you on a ride that stops at their doorstep. It's the nicest place I know. This is a beautiful record, and you can tell it was put together with lots of love. Yeah, it's really gorgeous. This is one that I play a lot. See this? Definitely pick this one up, for sure. It's fantastic. Again, another live album. This is live at the Hollywood Bowl, an evening of Chuck Mangione. This is a double disc. And this has Feel So Good on it. It has a lot of his other records, where the hill where the Lord hides. Let's see, Loving That Feeling. He does Children of Sanchez, which is the theme from a soundtrack that he did. Land of Make Believe, of course. Yeah, it's really good stuff on here. Gatefold. And I think it just goes like that, yeah. Has these pages with photographs and stuff. So I don't remember a lot of the sound of this, so I'll have to check this out as well. I'll be listening to all these this weekend. I'm just gonna have a Chuck Mangione weekend, I think. It'll be nice. This will be pleasant. His music is very pleasant to the ear, pleasant to the heart, pleasant to the soul. It's feel good jazz. It's not overly demonstrative in terms of it doesn't challenge you in a way that some records will, like a Sun Ra or like, even Coltrane or something. It's and that's why some people find it to be almost Muzak-like or almost smooth, but I don't, because I consider it like orchestral jazz, and it's just feel good music. It just feels good. It just, if you have a cold, and you put something like this on, this will make you feel so leveled out, I think. And sometimes you need that. Sometimes you don't need to be overtly challenged or shocked. I mean, and I'm not saying that it's boring, because it can be completely overwhelming to you, because the orchestrations are so complex and so interesting. So don't misunderstand what I'm saying on that. So, and finally, I have other stuff, but they're all on CD, and I'm not going to pull out the CDs. The last piece of vinyl I have from him is the soundtrack to this film called The Children of Sanchez. And he says, Children of Sanchez is not a typical soundtrack album, but my personal selection from the 23 and a half hours of music that I composed and recorded for the Hall Bartlett motion picture based on Oscar Lewis's biography, Children of Sanchez. Writing and recording this music was one of the most intense and emotional experiences of my life. I consider it to be one of the strongest music that has ever come from within me, and I'm grateful the music is preserved in this album so that I may share it with you. And there's Chuck with his signature long hair. It's a great photograph. I like this. This is also a double disc. And it has some inner stuff in here. This is very intricate, they put some money into this record, that's for sure. And this one has Chris Vidala on soprano, tenor sax, piccolo, flute, alto flute, and clarinet. Grant Geisman on classical, electric, and acoustic 12-string guitar. Charles Meeks on bass. James Bradley Jr. on drums, timpani, percussion, congas, and timbales. With guests Jeff Tsiak on lead trumpet and flugelhorn, Ron Leonard on cello, Don Potter on vocals, Bill Reisenbach on trombone, Phyllis Hyman vocals, Jerry Vinci on concertmaster, Trombones with like Kai Windig, Mayo Tiana, and Dana Hughes. French horns, Dick Decker, George Simpson, and Brad Warner. Music is all composed and conducted by Chuck Mangione. Recorded and mixed at Kendon Recorders in Burbank, California. And yeah, another wonderful record that you just sit down and let just travel over you. And I think that Mr. Mangione will be remembered for the beautiful compositions that he put together and the music that will leave an indelible mark in our ears. Whether you know him by name or not, you will have heard a lot of his compositions. They've been used in the Olympics, in many special occasions, because his stuff is so majestic and so beautiful. And he's lived a beautiful life, and so I'm not sad for him to be gone. I'm just, I'm always sad when anyone dies, but he's had such a beautiful life, and he's left such a legacy that you can't complain, because this stuff is still here. It's really great. So anyhow, if you're interested, go to your local record stores. I'm sure there'll be Chuck Mangione records, at least for the next few days, because I'm sure people will be picking stuff up. They always do when people pass away. But you can get that stuff really, really cheap right now. Chuck Mangione. And it probably won't go up in price. I don't believe so. But it doesn't matter. That's not the point. The point is about the music, and the music's wonderful. So, Dad, I know. Yeah, I always think of my father with this one. Anyway, that's it. Rest in peace, Chuck Mangione. I'm going to go back to the jazz bums and see what they're gossiping about or talking about. And have a great weekend, and keep listening to great music. It's good for the soul. Take care.